All right, ready? Okay, good deal, Coach.
Okay. It's good to get back in the win column, obviously. I feel like the last couple of weeks our guys have really worked hard to get some things corrected, had the right mindset in their preparation. We want to be more consistent. Obviously today it was far from perfect, many mistakes out there, but a lot to get corrected. I think it was important to play a lot of guys. There's players that work extremely hard. A lot of young guys got in there tonight, and I think that's extremely important. And first half, I wish we could have got a few more points. We got some guys a few more snaps, but we pulled away late. But I told you that all week, that it was going to be like that in our team. And I think our team had that mindset. They knew that you have to go beat them. You have to go win the snap. And it was going to be methodical in some ways. They are a good team, well coached. They keep things in front of them. They play extremely hard. They mixed up some pressures. They were adding on guys that got some pressure. And so a lot to fix, but I thought we're very balanced. I don't know what the stats were in the first half, but I know we had a lot of yards and a lot of first downs. I wish we'd had a few more points. We screwed that up at the end of the first half. That's on me. I knew better. Knew I should have kicked it on third like I was going to, and that's on me. I'll get kick it with no timeouts. We had to kick it there, and good to see Gavin get some reps. I thought Brock did a really good job as well. Played tough. Got some yards. It was good to get some yards, get the ball in the air a little bit. Obviously, we got to continue to work protection. Defensively, played really well most of the game. If we don't give them that field possession, we probably get the shutout. So defensively, good effort. Open up in the meetings and little things, and know all the protection. As he gets more snaps, he'll be, more engaged, and he'll get better, with opportunities as far as all the little nuances to the offense and the protections and things of that nature. As far as running the ball, he's tough as nails. I mean, a week ago, you guys probably don't see it, but I mean, he's on kickoff and he's running people over on kickoff team, getting to the football as a running back. So I mean, that he has the toughness, and I think you saw last week and this week just the way he runs it. He's been, very efficient, very tough, and trying to be more accountable in all ways.
Mark, you had the end of half one, but then there was another time where it looked like you were going to line up for a field goal and you called timeout, and then you were going for it. So is there?
We were right on that cusp, honestly. So we had the timeouts. At the end of the first half is obviously different than in the game. Mm-hmm. And so I had the timeout, and I thought it was wisely used to discuss it. And and with talking to our special teams guys, it was right on the cusp. I had put a lot of pressure on them a little bit. I put a lot of pressure on the out, so I thought that was about a yard or two. We felt like the wind at that point was in our face. We felt it a little bit as it was swirling, and we decided to go for it.
Mark, how big was it for the defense not only to finally get a fumble, but then Max to get the pick six?
Yeah, it was really good. It took us a while to get that fumble, though. It's still, I mean, I just had to shake my head as it was going through. I was like, really? But it was good. And it was important at that moment, too, to buck up and keep them out of the end zone and get that turnover and give us decent field position and get back off the field. And then Maxwell's was a really nice play and nice call, and the defenders really played it well. Pop really passed it and pushed through the zone, so it looked like man, but we were actually in the zone and rolled up on it. It was a nice play, the way we executed it.
Mark, with Brock and how much duress he's been under in the pocket, how hard is it for a quarterback who really hasn't played very much to sort of make normal progression under these circumstances?
I think, it obviously, he was 17 at 24, but that doesn't count, probably running for his life on, 6 or 8 and the sacks. But, but to him, I think we have to speed up, and he has to, to go through a progression. For us to progress, we got to get some time. that's why late in the game there, I was saying, let's continue to throw the ball, even with the negatives. And, it got a little sloppy. I thought there was a couple questionable in defense of our right tackle. I thought a couple of those weren't great calls, but that's me. You know what I mean? It wasn't like at the time you feel like, it's really sloppy. But I did, after watching it on the iPad, I have to defend them a little bit, on that. I think, overall, we know there's improvement to be made. And so we were trying to just work on that thing. And when Gavin got in, I wanted to see him and give him an opportunity to throw the ball and just run our offense. And so I thought that was important just to do that.
Mark, you guys got Gavin in early in the game on some runs and some options. What is that something you think I was playing to see going forward, or is it just kind of getting some things worked out? And just how did that look getting him in during the pace of the game early?
Well, we had been working that for weeks, and just as I mentioned, that I think, we understand the week before there was just not the right time for it. The way that game was, every play was so important. And today, I think we just had the mindset to get it going. Get him in there and get him a few snaps, and so that's what our plan was.
Getting more explosives was kind of the talk going into this game, but those didn't turn into touchdowns, I think, except for Barry Allen's there at the very end, because you did have to settle for some field goals. So, do you like the direction they took from an explosive play standpoint today?
It's improvement. It's improvement. I think, going into this game, and it's been our mindset to continue to improve. And, I told you, prior to the week 3 game, with UGA, that like everybody was just more, we just focused in trying to improve. And, you always have to play with an attitude and effort, right? That's it's a non-negotiable for us. And, but I think we need to play disciplined and more focused. And today, I thought at times we were, and obviously we have some limitations. We have some areas where we have to get better. And we tried to work on those things as we understand, we're going to move through the league here now.
Mark, you mentioned getting a lot of guys in. Ryan had a press breakup on 3rd down, and then Souls had another hit on the quarterback. What's kind of stood out to you about those two guys?
Both of them, Ryan had a little hammy in late in camp that slowed him a little bit. He showed a lot of promise. And Souls just is relentless. He plays extremely hard. He's got some natural pass rushing ability, so it's good to get him in there.
He got overlooked, I think, by a lot of people because of his size. And is that wiggle just enough to mitigate any sort of size concern?
It is. I mean, I think we as an organization, obviously we want some guys that are Deion size, and we want some guys that just have some attributes, and he certainly does have that looseness, that wiggle. He has a good feel for the game, and he's relentless. And there's been some great ones that have been on the shorter end too.
Mark, did you kind of joke or say anything to JJ when he came off the field after that near fumble back?
No, I didn't. I was just still shaking my own head.
Mark, you only had one punt, but it was Aiden out there today. Was that just wanting more distance?
Yeah, we just have been working Aiden, and I told you, I think I mentioned that he was getting closer and closer, and we're going to continue to work when we hit that one pretty good. We didn't even sky it. That's why none of the guys went to the ball. We didn't know he was going to hit it that good.
Everybody good?
Mark, you guys got to get out of SEC play. Now you got to jump back into it. What does this look like for you guys to ramp up and try to better get that first SEC win?
As I told the guys, it's kind of nice for them. Obviously it was a hot day. Appreciate the fans being out there, just sitting there in that kind of heat. So thank you once again. And for our players, it was a hot day, but we needed that, to test us, to push us, and it's nice in a way because we play very early next week. So I need our guys. I need them out. I don't need them out all night. I need them getting some rest, to get some sleep, and we need to have a great week of preparation because we know the challenge that lies ahead. They're going to tax you in all ways, and stress you in a lot of ways. So we got to be, on point from the beginning of the week.
On that 4th down,
was in there, we thought we'd probably hit the downhill, and that's more like Q power, which is inside, but the read told him to give it, I would assume. Just real life out there. It looked like they took both away. You know what I mean?
Dictating the game on the ground, obviously, you love that, but to have so many different guys doing that, you have Jermaine.
Yeah.
2 quarterbacks both doing it, and threat of Barry. Does that help you really dictate the game even more, that you have so many different guys?
Again, it's part of it. You know what I mean? With this offense, there's a lot of pre-snap. There's a lot of motion. Obviously, there's perimeter run game, but we've hit it downhill as well, and there's a lot of guys that have done that. With AV, earlier in the game, he bounced one on the perimeter run, and I kind of, got on him, jumped him during the game. I'm like, dude, stick your foot in the ground. It was 5 yards. The big difference between 2nd and 5 and 2nd and 15. And later, he did that. You saw 2 or 3 tough runs. And he looked me square in the eyes. He knew exactly what I was talking about. You got to get dirty runs. You get that ball in the perimeter like that, put your foot down, get 4 or 5 yards of tough yards, and then that's good. That's efficient.